Grand Theft Auto 6 keeps getting closer and closer. Now we have the official title, we have the trailer, we have the release window, and a lot of major companies and news outlets are getting a little less secretive about everything. Over the last few weeks, a ton of GTA 6 news has spread throughout the internet like wildfire, and it included a lengthy IGN interview with one of the main names of the franchise, who answered a ton of questions about the upcoming game. Now, there's also been a very interesting development regarding Xbox Game Pass and whether or not Take-Two and Microsoft can come to some kind of deal in regards to getting GTA 6 on the service. So you let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments. If you're hyped for GTA 6, let's jump right into everything. Now, if you've been trying to stay in this loop, you've probably been playing a bit of GTA 5 or GTA Online. One of the ways to do that has been through the Xbox Game Pass. Now, honestly, it's pretty wild that Microsoft worked out a deal to get one of the most popular games of all time on Game Pass for any stretch of time. But hey, that's the game Xbox is willing to play, and they're not showing any signs of slowing down. With that being said, it was confirmed not too long ago that GTA 5 and Online are unfortunately leaving Game Pass in January, which could lead to a bit of a drop in player counts, at least on Xbox. But it's also likely leading to a bit of a jump in copies sold in February because all those Xbox gamers who are playing GTA 5 and its multiplayer for the very first time during its run on Game Pass now have to go buy it. If they want to keep playing it, that is. Despite being over a decade old, it continues to sell millions of copies every year because of its ridiculously popular multiplayer mode, and Microsoft probably paid a fortune to get it on Game Pass, but Take-Two and Rockstar were probably betting on new players getting hooked and then going to buy a proper copy once it left the subscription service so everybody wins. So, if you've been playing 5 or online through Game Pass, be aware, you're going to have to go buy or you're going to have to go quit. Speaking of buying games, if you get anything from G2A.com, use code CHAOS for some cash back. The link is at the top of the description. Now, this raises a question. Will GTA 6 get on the Game Pass? Game Pass is a pretty important part of the Xbox ecosystem, and Microsoft makes a lot of money off it. I mean, it's good value. It's fantastic value on both Xbox and PC, so I don't blame you at all for subscribing to it. But if Microsoft was willing to fork over the money for Take-Two and GTA 5 on that service, I mean, are they going to do the same for 6, or rather, will Take-Two actually accept a deal like that? Because getting GTA on Game Pass, that would be huge. It would be huge, but probably not so much for Take-Two because they likely wouldn't sell as many copies. Take-Two and Rockstar want to sell as many full-price copies of GTA 6 as humanly possible, but if it launches on the Game Pass, a lot of people on Xbox might choose to play it that way instead of dropping $70 or more. Like I said, GTA players are giving Microsoft money every single month instead of paying admission to Take-Two. Just how much money would Microsoft have to pay Take-Two in order to make that happen? Now, I don't want to suggest that putting a game on Game Pass means it doesn't sell any actual copies. Starfield launched in September on the PC and the Xbox. It was available on launch day for both of those versions of the Game Pass. And yet it's still believed to sell over well over 10 million proper copies across both platforms. Heck, it's believed to have sold roughly 10 million copies on Steam, which will put its overall sales somewhere around 15 million copies across Xbox and PC, despite being on the Game Pass. So it's not like games that launch on Game Pass are incapable of selling lots of full-price copies, but this is GTA 6 we're talking about. GTA 5, second best-selling game of all time. Take-Two is expecting GTA 6's launch to be even bigger. So I really have my doubts that this game would be on Game Pass. I wouldn't be shocked at all if maybe 2 to 3 years after it launches, Microsoft manages to strike a deal to get it on their subscription service, but at that point, Rockstar and Take-Two have already sold millions upon millions of copies at full price, and that fat check from Microsoft would probably look even more appealing than it would during a launch window. Now let's shift focus. There was recently a huge interview conducted by IGN with Ned Luke, who you probably know as the man who played Michael in GTA 5. Now it's currently unclear if Michael is going to show up in GTA 6. It should be obvious that Ned Luke has a close relationship with Rockstar. Naturally, he was asked a lot of questions about GTA. Now, it's kind of a GTA tradition to bring characters back in subsequent games, so I really wouldn't be shocked at all if Ned Luke actually has been in the studio recording dialogue for this game. I'm absolutely positive he knows way more than we do, so his answers in this IGN interview, they hold weight. Luke was asked about fans' concerns that Rockstar was going to be less offensive in the new game and be more politically correct, to which he had a very stern response. He said, "You get a lot of these clowns out here going, Rockstar's going woke. They're caving into the wokeness of the world. First of all, there's been other female protagonists in the past, but obviously not in something as huge as this. GTA 6 is going to be the biggest game ever. She looks bad A to me. The last scene where they come busting in, she just looks bad A. And that thing that was cool was that she led the way. She kicked open the door, and then Jason was back there. So I don't know if you read into that as she's going to be the big time and he's going to be with her or what. So I guess if you were worried about GTA 6 going woke, the existing GTA cast seems pretty positive that's not the case. But also you can tell from the trailer, Rockstar isn't going to be pulling any punches. They know people expect them to release raunchy games with lots of inappropriate jokes and topical satire. Just because the main character is a woman doesn't mean they're suddenly stripping the game of its identity. It's not like Rockstar hasn't written some awesome female characters in the past. On one hand, I understand some people's concerns that Rockstar is going to try not to offend people, since that kind of thing has more consequences now than it used to. But at the same time, GTA 6 is practically untouchable as an IP. Rockstar is untouchable as a studio. They're not afraid of offending people, and I don't think they ever will be. NedLuke also shared his thoughts on what kind of tone GTA 6 is going for. When asked how he thought the game's tone would be compared to 5, he said, "I think that this thing, from the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a little heavier than ours. It looks like all the comedy and all the weirdness is going to be on the outside. It had a little heavier vibe. It felt to me, between us and the 4, almost because 4 was really dark." Now, I've said many times on this channel that GTA 4 is my favorite in the series, and it's definitely one of my favorite games of all time, and I think a lot of that comes down to how unique it was compared to the other games, because NedLuke is right. GTA 4 is a lot darker than the rest of the series, and that works in its favor. There's hardly any comedy. There aren't any wacky bonus weapons or vehicles, no jetpacks or anything like that, and it created a really gritty tone that made it stand out from the rest of the series. Playing GTA 4 today is a little off-putting because of how janky the controls and physics could be, which is understandable since this was Rockstar's first HD game, but the story, it's arguably the best in the franchise. The characters are still fan favorites. So if GTA 6 is going to be try to be more like 4, emulate 4, I am 100% on board for that. So there you go, guys. Let me know what you think. We know Ned knows way more than what he's saying about the trailer breakdowns, but obviously he can't tell us that. Also, the Florida Joker. What about him? Do you think anything's going to come from that? I think he said a deadline for Rockstar of the 11th. This video will probably be up by then. Do you think Rockstar's shaking in their boots? Or do you think they are literally at their studio laughing every time he makes a video? You know he's just doing it to get a little surge of followers and try to get the exposure that he can. He knows he's not getting a penny from Rockstar. Last question for you guys. When are we getting GTA 6 trailer number 2? That's the big question now. I hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon.